Welcome and welcome back for those of you who watched our video on free family-friendly activities from the Big Islands.
This is Ayla and Sienna, and we are here to share with you fun activities to do with your family around the United States. We usually bring our kids along, but didn't on this trip.
In this video, we'll be sharing with you our 5 favorite family-friendly activities on the Big Island of Hawaii. And all of these activities are under $20 per person.
Our list isn't long because we only wanted to recommend places that we thought would be really fun for all members of the family, including families with young children. If you think we left anything out, please let us know in the comments below.
Oh, hey, don't forget to subscribe.
Our first stop is Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. It's a $30 entry fee for a non-commercial vehicle, so if you're 2 people or more, it's less than $20 a person. This place is so beautiful. It's educational because you're seeing geology coming to life. There's a cute museum when you first get there with information about the mythology that goes along with the natural history of the island. It's fun and it's just awe-inspiring, which I think has a lot of value for children. It can be cold and windy, so definitely dress for it, even if it's hot and beautiful by the beach.
There are plenty of different walks. You can start with the steam vents. That's what we did. Then you can stroll out to the crater. It's just about a 1-minute walk. There is also a walk around the crater, which is just over a mile. This walk is flat, easy, and stroller friendly. You'd be fine bringing babies in a hiking backpack. But this specific walk wouldn't be great for a toddler or really young children who want to walk on their own because there is, after all, a huge crater. But there are a lot of different viewing points that are accessible to anyone. You can drive right up to them, and it's cool because they all have their own unique microclimates. The park is a long drive from Hilo, but especially from Kona. This can definitely be a pain with kids, but it's such a cool spot that in this case, we really think it's worth the trip.
Now, there are plenty of good places to break up the drive a little bit. One is the Kamakana Playground. This is hands down, no joke, the coolest free kids park I've ever been to. Plus, they had picnic tables that looked like the Hawaiian Islands. This little park is just outside of Kona on the road to Volcanoes National Park. So one idea would be to get moving early and stop here for breakfast and to let the kids run around and get their energy out before the long trip.
Another cool stop is the Puna Lo'o Black Sands Beach. This is a little bit of a detour off the main road from Kona to the volcano, but the sand is the exact same color as the lava you'll see in the volcano. So if you're planning on getting a little sciencey with your kids, it's a visual for explaining how the islands were formed. It's also a good spot for seeing sea turtles. That said, we do recommend not taking too long at your stops because Volcanoes National Park is really a place you'll want to spend some time exploring.
Now, on the way back, you may be interested in a stop at the Volcano Winery. We'll tell you more about that later in this video.
Activity number 2. So, we are back at Big Island Bees. If you saw our post on free family activities, you'll know that we came here for the museum and the honey tasting, but we also did the Beekeeping Tour, which is $15 for adults, $10 for ages 9 to 18, and free for kids under 9.
So the tour starts with tea, muffin, and a short video, which is cute, and then the tour is basically a beekeeper showing off the hives and telling you everything you could ever want to know about bees, beekeeping, and honey.
Hello ladies, long time no see. Tell me all about it later. Good to hear, good to hear. A little bit of smoke goes a long way.
What exactly is the smoke for?
Distracting the bees. They think their house is on fire. We've been using it for 10,000 years. So one, it's tried and true. 2, they think their house is on fire, so they're moving out of the way. They're engorging themselves, they're transforming the honey in their bellies into wax. So if we were a family and our house is on fire, would you guys take a nap in the basement?
No.
Yeah, really bad idea. Yeah, especially with children and stuff. You're like, let's not go lay down in the part that's going to get us in trouble. Honey on the outside. Hopefully this frame will be pollen and babies. And we will see in just a moment. Ta-da! Babies! The babies look like little wooden stop signs. And that's because they're pupating. I wish you would party. Yeah, 21 days old, soft, wet. She'll get a little bit of food, a little bit of honey mixed right to her mouth. And insects and understanding them is very lacking in the common knowledge in our culture these days. You know, back in the day, back 100 years ago, 200 years ago, like everybody was a bug collector. They were just going out on the weekends. The one that beekeepers they take and they throw in their mouth. They're like, oh, they love me. Right? And look at him waving real hard. Hi, hi.
This tour could easily have been boring, especially for kids. As a matter of fact, there are a few tours that we chose not to recommend because it can be hard for kids to listen to someone talking for so long. However, this beekeeper was such a skilled storyteller, and he was so funny, we were all just cracking up laughing the whole time. And the bees were just fascinating to watch as they reacted to the different things he was showing us. Plus, there is a field just behind you while the beekeeper is talking where kids can get out their wiggles.
So we agreed that this tour was fun, funny, and worthy of a family outing. Our third activity is just knowing when it's time to take a break and enjoy the vibes of the island. Hang out, get a drink, get a dessert, and watch your kids play while enjoying some beautiful scenery, of which there is no shortage on this island. Our 3 suggestions for doing this are Coconut Grove Marketplace in Kona, Kona Inn Restaurant, also in Kona, and Volcanoes Winery near Volcanoes National State Park.
Coconut Grove Marketplace is totally touristy, but it's also an important hub for Kona and just a nice place to hang out. You'll find scuba shops, cafes, souvenir shops, and restaurants. The restaurants have an outdoor seating and make a great place to have a seat, get some drinks, and watch your kids play Jenga, cornhole, bocce ball, or volleyball in the courtyard. Although, if your kids are a little young for these games, or would just prefer running around in a big grass field in front of the ocean, of course, Kona Inn Restaurant is also a wonderful choice. We'll hear a little bit more about that from Natalie.
We are here at an incredible place to bring your kids to run around while you're having a drink or some food. We're here at the Kona Inn Restaurant at the Kona Inn Shopping Center.
We're going to hear a little about this cool spot from Natalie, the restaurant manager.
Hi everybody! The Kona Inn is a super special place. It was originally a hotel from the 1920s to the 1970s. One of the first beautiful grand hotels ever in Hawaii in general. Not only just the Big Island, but one of the first ever in all 8 islands. And the whole shopping center used to be the old rooms and the lobby and the ballroom is what we now have as our restaurant, luckily, and they really try to keep the old vibe. It's a really wonderful spot to bring your kids any time of day, but especially happy hour. We have really reasonable prices on all our drinks and food. Our Mai Tais are famous, world famous. One of the best on the island, known by everybody, and you can just have a great table and have your kids run around right by the ocean. There's not actually a beach, it's just this grass yard. It's really accessible to people of all ages.
Wonderful, thank you so much for having us here.
Thank you so much.
One more great place to sit and have a drink or some amazing cheese while your kids play is Volcano Winery. So this may seem counterintuitive for a place to go with the kids, especially since Sienna and I don't actually even drink, which we'll talk about in another video, I'm sure. But we enjoyed tea tasting, pigging out on fancy dancy cheese, and most of all, getting our camera woman pretty tipsy. Actually, we were really skeptical that this would be a kid-friendly place. But when we got there, right away, there was a group of men at the picnic tables outside drinking wine as a troop of young kids played around them. Kids are warmly welcome here, and the staff there are conscious to make it kid-friendly, especially outside. It's near Volcanoes National Park, so worth considering as a stop before driving home after a day at the volcano.
Activity number 4 might seem a little silly. Ayla and I are not foodies, but this one, everybody kept saying to do it. And we did, and it was wonderful. So we decided to add it to the list. And that is getting shave ice. It's very easy to get dehydrated on the island, especially if you're spending time outside in the sun and on the beaches. And we really felt like this hit the spot. There are 2 main options that we are recommending.
The first is called One Aloha. This place uses all natural, organic, mostly local fruit juices. They have so many cool flavors. I had lemongrass, lychee, and local passion fruit, and it was so good and like legitimately healthy. Plus, the place had plenty of space inside and outside for kids that need to move around a lot.
For the second place, we didn't get any pictures because we saw a sea turtle and used all of our energy and battery filming him. This is the shave ice truck on the Kahalu'u beach in Kona. This is the perfect beach for bringing young swimmers and snorkelers. There's a lifeguard on duty, and you can see tons of cool stuff in pretty shallow, calm waters. The beach has seating and tables under a big roof. It seemed like a quaint little place, but sitting in the shade with that big, tasty shave ice, watching over the beach, it was heavenly.
Last but not least, Pu'uhonua Ohonaunau National Historical Park, also referred to as the City of Refuge. It's $15 per car to get in. You'll find an exhibit about the history and local culture of the Big Island, a reconstructed village, an important historical burial site, and some other artifacts showing how life used to be on the island.
So we did want to add a caveat here. This site includes some very serious and sometimes sad elements to history. There is a very respectful environment as visitors read the importance of the burial site and contemplate how life has changed. Meanwhile, my 2-year-old would have been completely overcome with her need to throw rocks at things and climb structures that she's very much not allowed to touch. I could not imagine more elements in a place to spark a meltdown that would have definitely ruined the vibe. Also, most of the area isn't too stroller friendly.
So while we strongly believe in the importance of teaching culture and history to kids, including young kids, and think that this place is a wonderful option for fostering a deeper respect of Hawaiian culture, we personally might hesitate to bring our highly active toddlers. And now Two-Step Beach is a top-notch place for tide pooling and a fine place for throwing rocks at things and climbing around. And this beach is only about a 5-minute walk or a 10-second drive from the historical park. So if some members of your family would like to learn about the history of the island while others would be better off throwing rocks, splitting up for an hour may be an option.
That concludes our list, and we'll top it off with one piece of critical wisdom that we got from our time on the island.
Don't forget to take time to enjoy the island. And don't forget to take time to relax, enjoy the island, and get rid of anything that might stress you out. It's Hawaii.